Ladies and gentlemen, it's TNG. How the devil are we all doing? In this video, I've got some incredible builds to show you that my good friend Silver Bunny has found whilst wandering Appalachia. Now, none of these have been submitted to me, they've all been stumbled upon by chance. So with all that being said, let's take a look at what she's found. Okay then, so first up we have Calvin Scrap and Junk by True Flat. Now if you're wondering who Calvin is, couldn't bloody tell you. Okay then, so what we've got here is quite obviously a scrapyard, clues in the title, and I don't think True Flat could have picked a better location for this. Yeah, there's the junkyard, but that's been done a million times now. This is different, and that's what I like to see. Now in terms of actually player-made structures, there's not too much here. We have got a nice defensive jump wall that True Flat's made, that looks absolutely spot on. But for the most part, this is just a really good use of prefabs. What I think makes this camp look so cool is the decoration levels. If you are using prefabs, in my opinion at least, you need to decorate them to the nines. And that is exactly what True Flat has done. And it's not just the prefabs that he's decorated either. He's clearly taken a lot of time to actually decorate his junkyard as well. And the overall effect is absolutely incredible. True Flat, as it stands, this is the best camp I have ever seen at this location. Fair play to you, buddy. You've done a proper job on this. For our second camp, we have the Tower House by Easy Fallout. Now, this may be a random build, but I know this guy very, very well indeed. It's nice to see a familiar name, actually, in the randoms. It's even nicer to see a familiar name with a cracking looking camp. And this thing, yeah, this is a good looking build. Now, cards on the table, we did come across this in a live stream, and I have actually been to it in person. I've got to tell you, when I first saw this, it threw me a little bit. I thought, is that the Watchtower prefab? And he's just added to it, but no, obviously it isn't. This is player made from scratch, and I think he's done a really good job at actually, I won't say replicating the Watchtower, but making something that looks very, very similar. On the exterior, I think my favourite bit is actually the wall pieces you've used. They're the Helvetia set, just wallpaper side facing outwards. In my opinion, they're very much like the standard brick walls. They look better when they're the wrong way round. I think the Helvetia ones in particular give it quite an old looking, rustic kind of feel. Do you get what I'm saying? Of course you do. No, you probably don't. Anyhow, I digress. Exterior wise, very, very good job indeed. Now, onto your interior. In all honesty, it's very well decorated. There's nothing too mad about it. It's very functional, but I think it looks good. I think you've done a cracking job on it. Easy, not a bad build at all, mate. Camp number 3, we have the Cubbyhole by Ratfinkazoid. Not sure what that was, but I felt the need to do it. I apologise to everybody involved. Okay then, so first impressions. I like the junkiness of it. I think you've done a great job with the decor in particular. No complaints from me on that front. Really well put together. I will say I'm not a fan of how you've placed the camp itself, kind of like half onto the road. I've never been a massive fan of that, but please understand, it's just my opinion, and it's a minor thing, right? It's nothing too major at all. Regardless of how you've actually placed it, this camp is a prime example of the power of decorating, right? It's not actually a complicated structure. There's not actually too much to it, but the amount of decor and how it's actually been placed down, it really does transform this place. Just goes to show, doesn't it? You don't need some mad build with angles only a mathematician could work out. You just need a good bit of decor. Especially in low-friendly builds like this, it makes all the difference. It makes them feel so much more substantial. Ratfinkazoid, you've done a great job on it. I like the simplicity. I'm not a fan of the placement, but your junk decorating, yeah, that is 10 out of 10 from me, pal. Alright then, looks like we're sticking with the theme of scrappy and low-friendly this time round. This build is Murgle's Place by Zippermute, or Zippermut 3. I'm just going to go with Zippermute. It feels better to say. Yeah, I hope I'm right. First impressions on this one. What an absolute shithole you've made here. It's perfect. Nothing screams wasteland more than ramshackle buildings, various pieces of crap everywhere, and the very real possibility of catching some form of disease. I think we can safely say this build ticks all the boxes. I am a fan of how you've made this into some form of compound. You know, it's got like a defensive wall around the outside of it. That looks really well done. I like how junky it is. And I think your location choice is bob on as well. I'm not sure where it is, but I'm guessing that all those metal sheets on the floor are pre-existing in this location. In fact, actually, I do know where this location is. Tower Buddy White. This is the pre-existing coffee shop in the Ash Heap, isn't it? I'm pretty damn sure it is. And that actually makes this more impressive, right? Making a build around pre-existing locations is very difficult. And I don't just mean from an actual physical building standpoint either, you know, putting items down and whatnot. The real challenge is actually making what you've built matching with what's already there. Zipper's had no problems on that front though. I mean, you've just seen it took me a couple of seconds to work out this is a pre-existing location, and it was only the floor that gave it away. In short, Zipper, you've done a great job at blending in what you've built to what's already existing there. Fair play to you, pal. Just before we move on to the next camp as well, I just want to point out how good the decor is in this place. It's junky, it's scrappy, it's filled to the brim, and some of the merges that you've done, absolutely bob on, pal. Zipper, this is a seriously cool camp, and you've done a really good job at actually using the location too. Aye, top marks from me, buddy. Okay then, so for our fifth and final camp, we have the Dome Sweet Dome. I like that, Bunny. That's one of your better titles. And this one is made by Hero Cunning, and it's actually the only Xbox build in this video as well. Xbox players, where the bloody hell you all at? Get them camps visible so Bunny can find them. Let's see what you can bloody do. Come on now. Anyhow, platforms aside, Cunning, this is a sick looking build, mate. Kudos on using this location. It is not easy to build here at all, let me tell you. And yes, before any bugger says it down in the comments, this is achievable in adventure mode. It's just a kick in the penis to build up here. Now for the camp itself, it is a really ramshackle kind of looking build this. Again, very, very wastelandy. When you describe a camp as being thrown together and made out of pure shit, this fits the bill exactly. In fact, I'd actually go as far as saying this is probably one of the most thrown together camps I've ever seen. It's also one of the most dangerous camps I've ever clapped my eyes on. Looks like it's going to fall down at any bloody second. I love it, right? That is Fallout. People building shit out of crap that they find and making it work. That just screams wasteland to me. Even though, you know, the camp location itself could be a little bit far-fetched. It's a proper mad one this, you know, Cunning, and I'm actually really impressed at how you've managed to build so well up here. Like I say, guys, it is not easy. That dome will fight you every step of the way trying to build around it. Now, onto your decor and the interiors. I'm actually quite impressed and surprised. A couple of them look rather cozy. This one in particular is much cleaner than you'd expect if you just hooked your peepers on the exterior of this thing. It's actually quite a nice contrast. It shouldn't work, but it actually does in this build. I reckon that's a good camp to finish this video on. Thank you to all the builders for letting Bunny record your camps. Thank you to you guys for letting me feature him on the channel. And thank you to Silver Bunny for doing all the bloody legwork. Guys, please show us some love. I'll leave a link to her channel down in the description. Anyhow, as we say in the north, I will love you and leave you. And I'll catch you in the next one. Have fun, everybody.